today's Warzone video, I have the top 8 meta loadouts you guys should be using. These are going to be from some of the most popular guns in Warzone, so I'm going to give you the best loadouts possible to run with them. If you haven't enjoyed today's video, give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on, and let's hop into this. All right, so for our first here today, we're going to take a look at the Cooper Carbine, so let's get into it. First thing, we're going to go for the MX silencer. After that, in the barrel section, we go for the 22 Cooper custom barrel. It's going to make this a great AR. On the barrel section, we're going to go for the M1941 hand stop down here at the very bottom. It's going to help out with that recoil control, which is pretty nice. Magazine, we're going to go for the 9mm60. We pretty much always go for this, no matter if it's an AR or an SMG. We pretty much always go for the 9mm60. Ammunition, we're going to go for lengthened here. I see a lot of people try to go for compressed rounds, but that doesn't really work out too well for an AR. If you try to build this as like an SMG, definitely so. It could work out really nicely, but overall, go for lengthened. Rear grip section here, we're going to go all the way down into the polymer grip for flinch resistance and accuracy during and recoil during sustained fire, which is a pretty nice grip. Optic, we're going to go down in here. We're actually going to throw on the SVT scope, wherever this thing is at, actually right here. The SVT 3 to 6 times scope. You guys can probably replace this out here for like the G16 2.5x if you really want to. But otherwise, the SVT scope is going to be a little bit more accurate, and I definitely recommend this one more so. Stock, we're going to go for the Cooper, a custom padded accuracy and recoil during sustained fire and flinch resistance. Really nice. You do get a bit of that initial firing recoil con, which is not the greatest, but otherwise, the rest of this build is going to help pretty much neutralize all that out. Perk 1, we're going to go for tight grip here. This is going to be real nice. And then perk 2, we're going to go down here and throw on fully loaded for maximum starting ammo capacity. So this is my full build here for the Cooper Carbine. Hope y'all enjoy this one. Now let's move on to our next gun. Next up, we're going to take a look at the MP40. So let's give you guys a build for it. First thing, muzzle, we're going to go for the recoil booster. We pretty much run this in all of our Vanguard SMGs. Barrel, we're going to go down here for the VDD 189mm short barrel. This is a really solid barrel and definitely the most meta thing to run on this gun. On the underbarrel section, we're going to go for the Mark VI skeletal here for ADS speed and movement speed. This is a really solid underbarrel for this gun. It helps just pretty much make this thing an absolute, like, movement machine, and I really like that. Magazine, we're going to go for the 7.62 Garanka 45 round mag. Always run this on our, our MP40. No reason to switch it up. Ammunition side of things, we're actually going to go for subsonic here for no minimap ping. This works out really, really nicely on this gun and pretty much any other Vanguard SMG out there. But you guys could also go for lengthened if you really want to, but pretty much if you want to stay off the radar, subsonic is going to be a great option. Rear grip, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to go up in here. I'm going to throw on the taped grip. This is going to be a pure movement style rear grip. A lot of really great benefits with no cons. Optic, what we're going to do is we're going to go throw on the slate reflector. Though if you guys really want to just pretty much get a little bit more mobility, agility out of this thing, you guys could go throw on the iron sights down here, which is going to give you the ADS benefit. But otherwise, the slate reflector is going to be my go-to. Now stock, I'm actually going to go for the Krausnik 33M folding for sprint to fire movement speed. I actually have ran the remove stock, but overall the Krausnik 33M folding feels a little bit better than the remove stock. Perk 1, I'm actually going to go for steady for ADS firing move speed. This works out great. And in perk 2, I'm going to go for quick for that overall increase in sprint speed. This is a real fun build to run. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Now let's move on to our next gun. Our next gun, we're going to take a look here at the Kilo 141. This is a real fun gun to be able to use, and a lot of people really enjoy it. So let's give you guys a meta build for it. First thing, mono suppressor. We run this on all of our modern warfare ARs, SMGs, and LMGs. The mono suppressor is just 100% the way to go for these guns. Barrel, we're going to go for the 19.8 Prowler. You always got to run the Prowler when making this an AR instead of the 16.6 SOCOM. People try to argue about that, but no, it's like the 19.8 Prowler is 100% the way to go. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Underbarrel, we're going to go for the Commando foregrip here. If you guys really feel like the recoil is a little bit too much, maybe throw on something like the Ranger foregrip, but keep in mind this will slow you down a little bit more so as opposed to what the Commando is going to do. Magazine, we're going to go for the 60 round mag. I'm a 60 round mag kind of guy, and I really enjoy having the 60 on this thing. I normally go for the maximum, ammo capacity on a gun, but this is not the case for this gun because the 100 round drum mag is ridiculous. It's going to slow you down way too much. Definitely not a real go-to thing. Always go for the 60 or the 50 if you want a little bit more mobility than the 60, but pretty much my choice is the 60. Now, to finish off this build, we're going to go for an optic. A few different options in here. The Corp Combat Hollow Sight is going to be a great first option for that medium-ish range. The VLK 3x optic is going to be your medium to long range optic, which is going to be my choice right there. And then if you guys want to scroll down a little bit a little more so, you can go for the PBX Hollow 7 sight. Kind of switch it up a little more so. It's pretty much the same thing as the Corp Combat Hollow. Just looks ever so slightly different, and in my opinion, a little bit cooler. But otherwise, pretty much just go up here and just run like one of these things. Corp Combat, VLK, doesn't really matter. This is my full build here for the Kilo 141. Absolute unit of a gun. Now let's move on to our next one. Our next one, we're taking a look at the H4 Blixen, a super meta SMG in Warzone. So let's get into it. We're going to go throw on the recoil booster here. Barrel section, we're actually going to go throw on the Bergstrom 17 F3 barrel. This is a really solid barrel to run on this thing. It's going to help neutralize out a bunch of recoil, make this thing pretty accurate. Underbarrel section, we're going to go for the SG98 compact here. This is going to help us be a little bit more strafe speed heavy, and I really enjoy that on this gun. Magazine, we're going to go for the 7.62 Garanco 54 round mag. This is definitely the way to go over the 36. You get more damage per mag with the Garanco 54, and of course you just have 54 rounds your mag as opposed to 36, which is definitely a W in my book. Ammunition, we're going to go for subsonic here, just going to keep you off the mini map. In the rear grip section here, we're going to go for the taped grip here. This is going to be strictly for movement purposes. Real solid rear grip. Optic, we're going to go for the slate reflector here. This is going to help us just, obviously with that magnification, just be able to help us with what they're shooting at. And then stock, we're going to go for the remove stock here. This is going to be pretty sick in terms of overall movement stuff. But if you guys don't really want to run that, you can run the Bergstrom MB. That's going to be a great option as well. Perk 1, what we're going to do is we're going to go for fleet here. This is going to be for weapon swap quickness and movement speed. And then in perk 2, we're going to go for quick for the overall increase in sprint speed. This is my full H4 Blixen build. Hope y'all like this one. Yeah, this is a really, really fun gun. Now we're going to give you guys a build here for the Grau 5.56, as this is one of my other favorite guns to use in Warzone. I'm so happy that it's actually within the meta. So first thing, muzzle, we're going to go through on the mono suppressor. Like I said, we run this in all of our Modern Warfare guns. Barrel, we're going to go through on the Tempest 26.4 Archangel. The Archangel is incredible for a variety of reasons. It helps you out with the maximum damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. And apart from that, it's got the most beautiful iron sights you can possibly get for this gun. So you can make a great use out of these iron sights for like a mediumish range build, and it's also just the best barrel in general. So it's kind of got like that 2-for-1 benefit right there. Underbarrel, we're going to go for the Commando foregrip here. I mean, recoil stabilization, aiming stability. You definitely do not need to go for a Ranger or something else like that. This is one of the lowest recoil guns in Warzone, so you should not need to do that. Magazine, we're going to go for the 6-round mag here like usual, as I'm a 6-round mag kind of guy. And then to make use of those iron sights, we're going to go for a laser. We're going to go through on the tack laser for that increase in ADS speed, aiming stability, and aim locking steadiness. This is going to be a great mid-range AR. Super fun to use on, Fortune's Keep, Rebirth Island. This is a lot of fun to use. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Automaton, as this is a really, really solid AR, and I got a refined build here for it. So let's hop into it. First thing, of course, MX silencer on this thing. Barrel, we're going to go for the Zach 600mm BFA barrel. This is going to be a real solid one. It's going to make this, the most effective as it can be as an AR. Underbarrel, we're going to go down here for the M1941 hand stop for that increase in recoil control. Magazine, we're going to go in and we're going to throw on the 6.5 Sakura 75 round mag. I really enjoy having 75 rounds of the magazine on this thing, and this is definitely by far the most effective way to run this gun pretty much anyways. So it's pretty cool that you get 75 rounds and it's the best magazine. Ammunition, of course, we're going to go down here and throw on lengthened because we're got to increase that bullet velocity. This is an AR. Rear grip section here, we're actually going to go throw on the polymer grip for flinch resistance and accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. Optic, we're going to go and we're going to throw on a pretty much precision optic. We're going to go down here and throw on the SVT scope to 3 to 6 times. This is pretty much my favorite way to run this gun. I never really run the G16 2.5. I just believe the 3 to 6 times is definitely the way to go. Stock, we're actually going to go for the Anastasia padded here for accuracy and recoil during sustained fire and flinch resistance. I've ran the Zach skeletal here, but I have really taken a liking to the Anastasia padded with this specific build, as it's really nice. Now, perk 1, we're actually going to go down here and throw on tight grip. It's going to help us just with that overall recoil control and everything like that, and I really am a fan of it. And in perk 2, we're just going to go through on fully loaded, and of course this is going to max out our starting ammo capacity. So this is my full build here for the Automaton. Definitely super meta on this one, very easy to control, and it's a lot of fun to use. Now we got to take a look at the Vanguard PPSH41, as this is just such an incredible gun to run in Warzone right now. So let's give you guys a really good hip fire / close quarters build for it. Muzzle, we're to go for the recoil booster for that increase in fire rate. Barrel section, we're to go for the Kolvaskaya 230mm BO3P barrel. This is like your quintessential hip fire / close quarters barrel on this thing. On a barrel section, we're actually going to go for the SMLE pistol grip here, and this is going to give you that increase in sprint to fire speed, hip fire accuracy, and aim locking movement speed, which is always really good. But you do have to be aware that this thing's not going to be as easy to control as if you're running something like the Carver foregrip, which is going to help out quite a bit more so with the recoil control. This definitely will not. So switch between the Carver and the SMLE depending on how you feel about this thing. Magazine, we're going to go for the 8mm Nambu 70 round mag. We pretty much always go for this for the hip fire build. Ammunition, gonna go for subsonic here like always, just to kind of keep us off the minimap. Though definitely something like either hollow point could actually be pretty solid, and definitely lengthened. In the rear grip section here, we're definitely gonna throw on the pine tar grip for recoil control and hip fire accuracy. This is real solid for this gun for this specific build. Optic, we're just gonna go throw on the slate reflector here, though you guys could definitely throw on something like the iron sights if you really want to kind of give you more of an ADS benefit, but otherwise the slate works out beautifully. Stock, we're gonna go for the remove stock here. Just gotta throw that on there, increasing hip fire accuracy, movement speed, and sprint to fire speed. And then perk 1, we actually got to go for tight grip here to kind of make sure our shots, you know, are hitting when they're hip firing. And then in perk 2, we just got to go for quick to increase our sprint speed. Just my full builds here. This is an incredibly fun one to run. Super OP, super meta. Definitely use this. And to finish off this video, we're gonna give you guys a build here for the Armaguara, or the Armaguara, whatever you want to call it. I never call it the Armaguara. It's just the Armaguara to me, but whatever. First thing, muzzle, we're gonna go in, throw the recoil booster on this thing. Barrel, we're actually gonna go throw on the Amaretto 180mm short barrel. I've been having a lot of fun running this. If you guys really want to actually be able to get more recoil control out of it, throw on the Amaretto 550mm 03P barrel. And this is gonna really significantly help you guys out. This is definitely not a recoil control style build. It's gonna be real close quarters, super high damage, and very good mobility, but not as good on the recoil control department. Underbarrel section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go throw on the SG98 compact here. This can help us with that aim walking movement speed. It's really fun. Magazine, we're actually gonna go for the Curry's 72 round mag. This is a really solid mag to run. Of course, it's not going to be as good for your overall, like, you know, recoil control and stuff like that. If you want a better mag for that, go for the 9mm 60, pair that with that other barrel, and you guys will have a great time with that. In the ammunition side of things, we just got to go for subsonic here. I mean, that's going to be real solid right there. Rear grip, we're going to go down here, and we're actually going to throw on the groove grip here. This is going to help us out here with just, you know, strafing back and forth, so it's a real solid rear grip. Optic, we have to throw on the slate reflector. You definitely cannot use the iron sights on this thing. Have to use the slate reflector. Otherwise, I mean, you're just going to be a little bit lost in the sauce, not knowing what you're shooting at. Stock, we got to go for the Amaretto TA skeletal here, just to kind of help us out here, strafe around a little bit more so. And then in perk 1, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go throw on hard scope to help out with that recoil control, because this thing's going to bounce around quite a bit, and you definitely want to make sure you control that recoil. Then perk 2, got to go throw on quick. So this is my full builds here for the Armaguara. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on, and I'll see you all later. Just remember to look out, don't be Randy, and I'm out. Peace.